The wind howled across the empty plains of Wyoming as a dust storm began to rise. The old Miller Ranch stood at the edge of nowhere, where men spoke little and worked hard. And that's exactly why the arrival of a city girl, wearing high heels and red lipstick, felt like a cruel joke. The hook. When Emily stepped off the bus, the men at the ranch burst into laughter. "Is this for real?" one of them muttered, tipping his hat back. "She's gonna last what, 2 hours?" But one man didn't laugh. He stood apart, tall, silent, with eyes like storms. They called him Cole, the silent cowboy. No one knew his story, only that he didn't talk much and that he worked harder than 10 men. And as Emily's eyes met his for the first time, something unspoken passed between them, a spark that neither of them could explain. Emily had come from New York. A marketing intern at a big company, she'd lost a bet with her coworkers. The dare, spend 1 month working on a real ranch, learning the cowboy way. They'd laughed as they bought her a pink cowgirl hat and a pair of shiny boots that had never touched dirt. It was supposed to be funny. A prank. But when she stepped onto that dry, cracked land, Emily realized this wasn't a joke. The ranch was real, and so was the work. From sunrise till dusk, the men herded cattle, mended fences, and rode miles under the scorching sun. Emily couldn't even lift a hay bale without dropping it on her foot. And every mistake earned her laughter, except from one man. Cole. He just watched. Quiet, unreadable, then went back to work. Cole had been on the Miller Ranch for 7 years. He didn't speak much after his brother, Wyatt, died in a riding accident. The guilt had swallowed him whole, because he was the one holding the reins when it happened. He'd stopped talking that day. But everyone respected him. He was the kind of man who'd fix your fence at midnight and never asked for thanks. When Emily arrived, he didn't know what to think. She was loud, clumsy, and completely out of place. But there was something about her, a stubborn spark that refused to die, no matter how hard the day was. He saw her crying once, behind the barn after being mocked by the others. But when she saw him watching, she quickly wiped her tears and forced a smile. That moment stayed with him. Days turned into weeks. Emily learned to ride. Badly at first, but she didn't quit. She fell, scraped her knees, and laughed it off. Slowly, the others began to respect her grit. One evening, a storm rolled in while she was helping herd the cattle back to the barn. The wind roared, and thunder cracked across the sky. A young calf broke away, running toward the cliffs. Emily didn't think. She just went after it. When Cole saw her galloping toward the edge, his heart froze. He jumped on his horse and raced after her, shouting for the first time in years. "Emily!" She stopped just before the cliff, trembling as lightning flashed above them. The calf was safe. So was she. And Cole, breathless and furious, looked at her with eyes full of fear and relief. "You could have died," he said hoarsely, his voice cracking from disuse. Emily's eyes widened. "You spoke." He looked away. "Didn't mean to." After that night, something changed. Cole began to talk again. Not much, but enough. He taught Emily how to ride properly, how to read the land, how to trust the rhythm of the horse beneath her. In return, Emily taught him how to laugh again. They'd sit under the stars after a long day, her telling stories of city lights and coffee shops, him listening quietly, sometimes smiling faintly. He told her about Wyatt one night. The guilt, the silence, the years of pain. Emily didn't say anything. She just held his hand. Sometimes, silence is the only language that matters. When her month was nearly over, the ranch owner, Mr. Miller, faced a crisis. Half the cattle had gone missing after a gate was left open during a storm. The men scrambled, blaming each other. But Emily stepped forward. "It was me," she said. "I thought I locked it, but I must have missed the latch." The men exploded in anger. Of course it was her. What did we expect from a city girl? Cole didn't say a word. He saddled up his horse and looked at Emily. "Let's go find them," he said. They rode together through the night, searching the hills. By dawn, they found the herd trapped near the canyon. With teamwork and sheer determination, they guided them home, exhausted but victorious. When they returned, the ranch hands were silent. Then, one by one, they began to clap. Emily had earned their respect, not by being perfect, but by refusing to give up. Her last day came too soon. As she packed her things, Cole stood at the barn door, hands in his pockets. "You did good," he said softly. "You too," she smiled. "You found your voice again." He gave a small nod, then took something from his pocket, a small, hand-carved wooden horse. "Made it for you," he murmured. "So you don't forget the ranch." Emily blinked back tears. "And you won't forget me." He met her eyes, silent again, but the answer was clear. Epilogue. 1 year later. The Miller Ranch was quieter than usual that spring. Then one morning, a familiar sound echoed down the dirt road, the rumble of a car engine. Emily stepped out, wearing boots dusted with dirt this time, not heels. Cole was fixing the fence when he saw her. He froze, then smiled, just slightly. "Thought you might need a new hand," she said, holding up her gloves. He just nodded, and though he didn't say it, everyone on the ranch could see it in his eyes. The silent cowboy wasn't silent anymore, and the joke that had once been cruel had turned into the best thing that ever happened to both of them. Final message. Sometimes life sends people into your world as a joke, a mistake, or a punishment. But in truth, they might be the answer to a prayer you never spoke out loud. Love doesn't always begin with words. Sometimes, it begins in silence, under a wide and endless sky.